Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What?
Harass, bother, harass, bother, harass. This is the way of a stalker. Taunting and tormenting and taunting and tormenting and taunt. First thing this morning, Mr. Perry, you're caught. Is it God helping you? Who's helping you? Oh my God, here we go again. I mean, second I wake up, typing that shit in my phone. Okay, so, I'm caught doing what, Mr. Perry? I don't have time to do anything. I'm always fighting your crime. You're heaping it on me and piling it on me. I'm caught doing what? Fighting your crime. There's no other time. There's no time. I don't have time for school. I don't have time for work. Well, I work, but I don't work. There's a hell of a lot more work I could get done if I didn't have to drop everything I'm doing and deal with your crime, sir. So, caught doing what? Everybody note for the record, Mr. Perry has already threatened me on January 2nd, 2023. You're caught. You're caught. We caught you. Caught doing what, Mr. Perry? Rejecting you? Throwing up because you're making me sick up my stomach again today? Catching your crime? You forget who it is you're talking to. You don't quote us. We're quoting you, Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry has been diagnosed with Huntington's disease. It causes delusion, paranoia, psychosis, and the inability to reason cognitively. And there's a serious disconnect in what it means that we're quoting him, what it means that we have names of people that are working with him or for him, and that he's asking me every day, who's helping me? Who in law enforcement is helping you? Second of all, for the record, yes, God's helping us. We pray to him every day for help. That's what we do. 40 of us. Most of us are Christians. Yes, Mr. Perry, God is helping us. Yes, Mr. Perry, I've got angels all around me. People have said it over and over and over. I would be dead if I didn't. You've tried to kill me. You're caught, sir. You're caught. You have a disconnect in what you cannot understand what it means. It's very, very difficult to deal with somebody who doesn't make sense, butting into everything you're trying to do. They got to say their opinion. I'll be doing schoolwork and Perry starts highlighting shit or typing in my computer what he thinks about it. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't care. I fucking don't care. No one understands why you think I care what you think. Nobody understands why in the hell you think that. Delusional. I fucking don't care what you think. I would like you to quit hacking me and get out of my computer and shut up and leave me alone. Please. He's trafficked me. He gets more desperate by the day. We know you talked to my car guy last night and had him reach out to me. Because that's what y'all do. You do it every time you're trying to take something. All of a sudden that person starts getting in touch with me and saying stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow. Right now you don't need to talk to me at all. Right now you don't need to talk to me at all. That was the worst thing you could do. Because if I know the names of your people, Lucius, Geppetto, the witch, we don't just know Geppetto's name, we know he's your witch. You hired him to cast spells on me. Because, yeah, God's in this, sir. I thought we've said that quite a lot. Here's the funny thing, is when I first get back from jail, I have a job to do, it's slay a dragon. To tell your victims you're safe now, he can't hurt you ever again. That's what I'm doing, that's my job. I'm getting pretty fucking overwhelmed. I've just been put in jail for filing a police report to try to get a protective order from someone who's 4 months been threatening me with death and false arrest. He's carried out the false arrest. Months after I told everybody he's threatening false arrest. I file a police report with Tulsa Police. You have to do it to get a protective order, and they knew that. My first one was denied because I didn't have the police report in court. File a second one. Within a week, I hadn't even talked to a cop yet. There was no collected evidence, was not collected. I get a charge, Mr. Perry did carry it out, has me charged with filing a false police report in retaliation for his job as a senator because he's not able to identify his legislative duties or what state he legislates in. I don't live in Texas, I live in Oklahoma at this point. I had a home I was renting, I paid utilities. My son was enrolled in school. I had a job in Oklahoma. We were domiciled in Oklahoma. We're fucking done with Texas. So, we left to get away from Mr. Perry, and he's crazy. He's legitimately diagnosed crazy. So, so what happens is, I'm like telling my attorney, there was no, you can't determine if a police report is false until there's proper collection of the evidence and a investigation, and he obstructed justice. I didn't get a blood test, so he destroyed my evidence. Where's the political vendetta, sir? You don't matter politically. I know you think you do. You don't. You just don't. You want to so bad, and you don't. Always the wannabe. Always stuck in, I'll forever be just a wannabe, right? The only thing better than me is eating out of a dumpster. I mean, the only thing worse than me is eating out of a dumpster. Even you're repulsed by you, if you think that. So, I'm caught doing what? Fighting that? So, anyways. So they asked me to lie, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fucking lie. I just lost my home, my mugshot's everywhere. I went to the law to try to make Mr. Perry leave me alone. His attention's not wanted. His contact isn't wanted. I have the right to a protective order. Here's the thing. I have the right, equal protection, everybody. TPD, Mr. Kunzweiler, whoever is listening to me right now. I have the equal right to protect, the right to equal protection according to the Constitution, and that includes the equal application of the laws that are intended to protect Oklahoma citizens against a stalker, a hacker, a little peeping Tom. I can't get a real date. I gotta peep. And witness tampering, coercion, retaliation, and there's like an obstruction of justice, destruction of my evidence, and on and on and on, harassment, threats, and so I assert that right, by the way, and all constitutional rights. Use allegedly, apply the but-for legal standard and the reasonable, prudent individual standard. If you got somebody who's delusional, they don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, it's like this guy here, Mr. Perry, talks like that all damn day. He types it in my phone. I can't get shit done without him tell me what he thinks, and he doesn't even make sense. So I'm incarcerated. They're trying to, they got a bunch of shrinks trying to make me look crazy. Literally had, evaluations by shrinks, because I won't lie. And the facts say there's no crime here. She did the requirements of the law in Oklahoma are you got to file a police report. Guess what else the requirements of the law are? You got to tell the truth when you go to court. You knew there was no political vendetta, and you knew I had to file a police report by law, and you obstructed them from investigating it. They handed it right over to the offender, which they shouldn't have done. That's certainly not what the police in the training videos of the National Stalking Resource Center connecting the dots say that you do with a police report on a stalking victim, is it? Nope. That's a fail. So anyways, you're putting lives at risk when you don't do your job right, cops. I came from 4 generations of cops. I said, I'm not going to sue TPD. I could. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to out-cop them. Watch this. So when I get home from jail, they're trying to make me look crazy. Instead of just looking at the facts, let's just look at the facts. They're not collecting evidence. Mr. Powell had no intention of going to trial. This was an intimidation. This was intimidation. This was retaliation for trying to get Mr. Perry not to stalk me. That's all this was. Because if you intend to go to trial, then the prosecutor's going to collect the evidence. I was poisoned. I have no blood test. There were texts, there were emails, there were video surveillance from my work, and that was listed in the police report. And yet Mr. Powell made no effort to get any of it. He had no intention to go into trial. This was to intimidate me, the victim of a crime. Not in Texas, in Oklahoma, where I live. Mr. Perry comes where I live. I don't go where he is. So, there's like 5 RICO violations in that right there. RICO Act violations. So, I'm caught, huh? Yeah, okay, wackadoo. and your Princess Diana. So here's the thing, doing what? I have no time to do anything but kick you off me, rapist. I mean, you're just sicko. Everybody fucking sick of this, Mr. Perry. Just beyond sick and tired of this. And the burden and imposition that you've made of yourself. You're not wanted, you're not loved, you're just told on all the time. So I did have what's called the McNamara email that said, well, before he did that, Mr. Perry's trying to false arrest me and coerce me and intimidate me. Mr. Powell didn't have that either. Didn't even try to get it. Didn't have any intention at all of going to trial. Have a whole bunch of shrinks trying to make me look crazy, so they're completely ignoring objective data and trying to get subjective data to match what they want it to be. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I get home from jail. They're going at me at work even worse than they were before. I paid my employer $5,000, $5,000 in no-show fines. It was like $50 a night, if that tells you how much I missed. Because either I'm too scared to go to work, or my guys are telling me they're going to do XYZ to you tonight, don't go to work. I missed out on the money I would have made that night, plus I had to pay $50. So if you know how strip clubs work, strip clubs are that you're self-employed, and the second you walk in the door, you owe a house fee. You got to tip the DJ, the waitress, the bouncers, all the staff, and the man. I mean, you got to tip everybody. So when you're working, you first have to make the money to pay all them. Then whatever's left over after that, you get to take home. Every club's a little different. Some clubs give you a required, you got to tip this 10%. You got to tip XYZ amount. Some say, you tip whatever you want. It just depends. So, and the house fees vary too. Some take a percentage. Some want a set amount. You walk in the door, you pay $20. The rest of the money all night long is yours. Some of them are like when you sell a VIP, for example, then you have to pay, you get 75% of that, and the house gets the rest. It just depends. Every club's different. So if you're scheduled, you're self-employed. So this is really kind of a gray area, I would say, maybe, in defining whether or not we're self-employed. I guess I don't know. It's not something that I give a shit about, so I don't really pay much attention to it. But I think girls at Jaguars in Dallas sued for, you're telling me I'm self-employed, but you're dictating an awful lot. So they ended up getting a salary, wanting a settlement for salary. Anyways, what happened is, when you schedule, say I told Joe I'm going to work, Mr. Perry, please stop trying to talk to me. Please get out of my phone. Hacking is a felony, and you're making me very upset with you. I don't want to hear it. No one understands why you think I care what you think, or I would help you. Everybody's so tired of you and just wants you gone. You need to understand, everybody fucking wants you to leave me alone and go away. I didn't invite you to Oklahoma. I didn't ask you what you think. Everybody's so tired of this. Just please shut up and leave me alone. He'll type in my other phone, not this one where you can see it. He's done some things, though, while I'm doing these. Once in a while, he will. So, like, he thinks this is a conversation. You're not supposed to know what I'm doing right now, Peeping Tom. You're a sick little turnoff. Peeping is a felony. Stalking and hacking are felonies, Mr. Perry. And yucky as fuck. Just ew. You're ew. And so when I do that, if I stop and say, please stop, sometimes he will. It's weirdo. It is fucking weirdo, the shit he does. He does stuff no normal person could think up if they had to. Sick, twisted crap. Torture. He likes torturing. He likes tormenting. He's a sex sadist, we understand. So he likes to get women really upset so he can go, and the guy said, I'm quoting the witness, rub one out. He can't control himself. I've had to have that imposed upon me for a decade now. What I was supposed to do is get him elected, and that was it. He has become 24/7 monster in my life. He's just, we'll get to that later, but anyways, okay, so Mr. Perry has, let me clarify this for the record as well. when I do these podcasts, they go into your criminal case court as evidence because they speak to my intent. That I'm not complicit. And that you're imposing on my will. That you're making threats and that you're harassing and that you're taking my money to try to force me to lie. And so please understand, every time I do one of these, it's going towards the court record in your criminal case. Please understand that. You need to understand that's what these are. If no one else listens to them, that court's listening to them. And that court is the one signing off on investigatory orders if they need a wiretap or something. And ultimately an arrest, the whole arrest thing, right? So when I say to you, leave me the fuck alone, shut up. I do not care what you think. And I'm stopping everything to ask Mr. Perry to stop trying to tell me what he thinks, because I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Everybody's sick of hearing it. You need a lie. You want to traffic me. You need a lie. We get it. You never shut up about it, sir. You never shut up about it. You're going to do this, and you're going to do it. You threaten. So that guy, that course heard it. And believe me when I say he's irritated with you. A gentleman is told, leave her alone. Leave her the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. A gentleman gives up his chair for a woman. He doesn't make her go drive into the gas station to go pee. Put her out on the street. Here, eat out of a dumpster or lie. So that court's already heard. Every time I say that. And every time you say that. Because no other victim found out they were trafficked before, but I did. You have a disconnect that you know that we have that, and we have people that work for you. We have names. We quote you. You're not quoting us. You don't have one of our guys' names. But you don't understand what it means that we have that. You know we have it. You're asking how we got it, but you're not understanding what happens that we do have it, what it means that we do have it. There's a disconnect in your head. You're very embarrassing to me. Very, very embarrassing to me. So, I didn't sign up to be dealing with your illnesses. Your wife, Jacqueline, did. I left to get all away, far, far away from you and your drama. I fucking can't stand it. I can't stand it. And you're horrifying and you're terrorizing because you were doing this shit to me in Lubbock. I left. You threatened to ruin my career, then you did. I left to get away from you. Listen to the words I'm saying right now. Mr. Perry, I left because you are horrible. You're horrifying everybody. You're terrorizing everybody. People don't like that. I left. You're married to Jacqueline. You know Jacqueline? She signed up for this. I did not. I left. You make me sick. You make my skin crawl. You turn off everybody. Everybody hates you. I can get information like that, and you can't. Because everybody's sick of you horrifying them and terrorizing. Everybody's tired of it, Mr. Perry. And the suffering that you cause. People don't like it. Watch the news. I'm talking to somebody who has a mind of a 6-year-old, literally. So, anyways, you embarrassed the hell out of me. I left. So, he'll start typing on my phone like, you did leave. And that's my choice. I'm a grown-ass woman. I don't want anything to do with you. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on. You're making a fool of yourself. Where's Jacqueline, your wife? She signed up for this. I did not. She agreed to love you in sickness and in health. Till death do you part. And you agreed to do that for her too. You made a commitment to Jacqueline to love her till death do you part. Why are you up here fucking with me? You're making me very angry. You're making everybody extremely angry, Mr. Perry, at you. You have no right to do that. Not to her, not to me. I don't want you. Listen to, he said, I want you. Nope, but I don't want you. I left. I don't want you. So I get home, and they're completely ignoring objective data and replacing it with subjective data. Let's find a shrink that'll say she's crazy and ignore blood tests and video and text. Because Mr. Powell had no intention to go on to trial at any point. So he did not bother to collect it, which he has the legal obligation to do. Collect and preserve the evidence. When you throw somebody's ass in jail and you deprive them of their liberty. So that is prosecutorial misconduct. And it's very sick that he would put us through that, my family and I. So he's in a lot more trouble than he realizes, I think. I think he sees himself as he's the goody-goody one. No, Mr. Powell, you're not. You're just as wicked as Charles Berry. Because you don't put somebody's family through that. And then Michael Neely's family through what he's going through. And you're a holier than thou. Then pretend to be a holier than thou. Let me tell you what Jesus said. Here's what he said. I'm just going to quote your Bible. You're a Christian too, right? Supposedly a Baptist. Okay, here's what Jesus said. I was hungry and you didn't feed me. I was in prison and you never came to see me. I was in hospital and you didn't come see me. Depart from me, I don't know you. And for you others over here, I was hungry and you fed me. And I was in jail and you came to see me, and I'm in the hospital and you came to minister to me like the Good Samaritan did. When you do this to the least of these, you do this to me. Come on in, enter in, my good and faithful servant. And he's talking about acts of negligence. You guys are doing this shit on purpose. You're causing homelessness and hunger and imprisonment and sickness intentionally and maliciously. So you tell me how your thing is with God, Mr. Powell, holier than thou. Oh, it's David and Charles. They're the bad ones. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. Yeah, you do. Who do you think you're fooling? Not me. I'm not stupid. Maybe other people are stupid. I'm not. Please don't forget that. I'm the one that quotes y'all. I'm the one that quoted you. She torpedoed my case. Do we have Ms. Ortiz's whereabouts? Mr. Perry, I don't care what you think. Nobody understands why you think I would. Were you asked? You never asked. I said, leave me the fuck alone. Get out of my phone. Mr. Perry, get out of my phone. So, here's what happened on the, we need to find a shrink. That I'll tell you, she's crazy deal. Mr. Perry, the other thing Mr. Powell what's quoted on is, can we just get Frank Morrison to say she misunderstood something? And the guy goes, well, you can, but I don't think that'll work. And this is regarding text from 2011, when I texted Mr. Perry that I was really pissed off that he was spreading rumors that he and I were having an affair. There was no affair. Delusional. Huntington's disease causes delusion. Paranoia, psychosis, whack job. Your mind's fucked. Too bad for you. Maybe you should have been nicer to everybody. So, the guy says, you can, but I don't think that will work because Mr. Perry never asks her why she's pissed off. He already knew. He never denies spreading rumors of an affair. He denies having employees, and we all know he had employees. She named them, Robin and Carl Tepper. So, I don't think that will work. And what I said is, nobody but me can speak to what I understood on anything at all. Don't have other people speak for me, because that will piss me the fuck off. Right? You need to remember who it is you're talking to, because I'm quoting you. You're not quoting us. You have not one quote from anybody in our meeting. Not one. And we've got names. Geppetto, we found out he's a witch. Sonjay, we found out he's your hacker. And who's Monique, Charles? Explain to the court. Who's Monique? Explain to as I'm doing the podcast, why don't you type that in my other phone? Who's Monique? Yeah, now it gets quiet. Who's Blankenship and Desiree? Who's James and Ruben? You thought James and Ruben were leaks. Who's Beverly? You thought she was a leak. I mean, remember who? I mean, you're in your little hole very deeply, sir. You're deep down in there. The cats are out of the bag, running around. You can't get them back once they're out. You're hurting people in a way they'll never get over. Devastating loss and injury. And you're doing it on purpose. So Powell is a part of this. Let's find a shrink that'll say she's crazy. So in my bond conditions, I've got to see a shrink who said, It's right here. Everybody can hear it. Everybody can look at it. That I don't like Mr. Perry's intrusion in my life. Alright, here is Dr. Russell's. This is the transcripts. You can listen to it right there. He's just bothering you and bothering you and bothering you, trying to get attention. He can't get any other way. And what you've got with Charles right here, hey, or something, you know, at the bottom there, you're going to try to ignore him. But the problem you have with Mr. Perry is that he'll ignore more than you can ignore. He'll escalate. So the arrest was clearly an escalation. She wrote a letter here for me. It says that I'm scared of him. And I don't like his interference in my life, the butting in. He's a butt-in. A wannabe, never the wanted one. So, see, here's the thing. Most people know how to make themselves attractive, so everybody likes them. They're nice, they're friendly, they'll do things for you, they'll help you. They're kind. Power's in service, Mr. Perry. And, they don't beat you down. And they go, well, why doesn't she like me? I ruined her life. Why doesn't she like me? I bother her all the time. Why doesn't she like me? I'm a weirdo. It is illegal to stalk, hack, and peep, and coerce, and bully, and witness tamper. I said, I don't care what you think, and you're still trying to tell me what you think, like you think I do. Why? Why do you think that, Mr. Perry? I don't want you here at all. I don't want a fucking thing to do with you, reject. I don't like you. Move on. Where's Jacqueline when you bother me? Your wife. Somebody said that yesterday. Here's the thing. This guy has been in Oklahoma. And for 7, 6, 7, 8 years now. Well, she's been in Oklahoma 9. For 6, 7, 8 years before she caught him. Because I don't have time to do another fucking thing but that. He, while married to Jacqueline Perry in Lubbock, has been in Oklahoma telling everybody that's his girlfriend and that they're going to get married and all this stuff. And there's not been a date. There's been no sex. There's been nothing. Shit, Cynthia can't stand him. Won't have a thing to do with him. So when he comes up, you know, when he's, we're like, you got to understand, Mr. Perry, why everybody's having some difficulty believing a word you say. You haven't had even one date with her. There's been no sex. You've got a wife in Lubbock, Jacqueline. And yet you're in Oklahoma all the time telling everybody that a woman who won't even talk to you, won't have anything to do with you, wants a protective order, tried 11 times to get one, but you bought your way out, is your wife? I mean, surely you understand why we think you're a little wacky. And didn't he say that last night? Mr. Perry, you can understand. She says you're stalking her. It looks like you are. Stalking is a felony. Because I want nothing to do with you. Not a fucking thing. Creepster. You're a fucking creepster. So, what happens after all of this is they're harassing me like a motherfucker at work. I can't go. I'm broke. And everybody's heard what my ex-husband would do when I'd call him and ask him for help, scream and yell at me first. He might help me. Not as much lately because Mr. Perry's guy said, we've told her family we're going to take all her money. They're not only not to help her, they're not to talk to her at all. We have got to get her trafficked. She's been sold. We've got to get her delivered. Because we all are out some money. So we gotta make sure she's eaten out of a dumpster. We're gonna take her driver's license, her computer. She can't finish school. She can't get any more school money. She's gonna live out of a dumpster. She's gonna be trafficked and she's gonna get raped every day. She's gonna get tormented every day and be subjected to unimaginable, horrific atrocities. We're gonna try to make it where she has to agree to do that. Because she wasn't supposed to find out beforehand. But I did. And there's a disconnect for y'all that I did. What does it mean that I did? What does it mean that I did? That's where there's no wire there. She knows. Everybody knows she knows. She's talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. What courtroom are these played in, Mr. Perry? Yeah. So I'm praying. I'm walking. I'm feeling smothered. I'm overwhelmed, and I'm like, I gotta finish this deal because we've got to tell the victims they're safe. I'm not the only one, and I need some strength. I'm walking through Sepulpa trying to breathe. God help me. I can't. This is overwhelming. This is awful. I can't do shit without. I can't shower. I can't go to the bathroom. I can't blow my nose without Mr. Perry watching me and making sure I know he's watching me. And talk about being creeped out. It is the nastiest feeling for someone to do that to you. It is like rape. I've been physically raped, and that is as rape as it gets. For someone to put you through that. He's watching you in the privacy of your home, and he wants you to know he's watching you in the privacy of your home. And it's sick. And it's twisted. I would have guys come into my work at Lady Godiva's and tell me what I had just in the bathroom before coming to work. I watched you do XYZ when you were putting your makeup on. Oh my God. It's not that I was doing anything embarrassing. It's that it was private. I'm in my bathroom at my house where I have the reasonable expectation of privacy. And some person I don't know just told me what I just did. And, you know, it could be some blue eyeshadow. You know, I like that you chose blue eyeshadow tonight when you were, you know, we saw you pull out your, and you're just like, oh, dear God, this is so gross. This is so gross. So, I'm just trying to figure out how to pull myself together and deal with all that. So, because it's a lot to deal with. And I'm like, God, they're trying to make me sound crazy, and I'm not crazy. And this is serious crime. This is serious hurt and suffering they're causing here. And it was like he just said, don't worry about it. I'm going to cause them to fall in the pit they dug for you. Fight those who fight me. Psalm 35. Oppose those who oppose me. Make war on those who make war upon me. Cause them to fall in the pit they dug for me. But give great delight to those who came to my defense. And they took up my cause of justice. So, I hear that our founding forefathers prayed that during the Revolutionary War when they were also seeking freedom. So, from some oppressor. So, guess what? I got this. Says you're not crazy. From a shrink that I saw for not a day, not a week, not a month. A year and a half. Every month. Twice a month for an hour to 2 hours. That's a hell of a lot of therapy. And then I wasn't diagnosed with any mental illness. I was not given any medication. That whole year and a half. Instead, what she says is, yes, Mr. Perry is stalking you. That's going to cause some fear. That's what he's doing. That's why he does it. He enjoys causing fear. These people are not right in the head, or they wouldn't stalk. Because normal people just move on. When you're rejected, you just move on. So, Mr. Perry will type in my phone all damn day. I'm going to take you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to make you go back. I'm going to make you go. You're going to leave Oklahoma. I'll make you. And you're just like, I don't even want you in my life at all. I came here to get away from you and be with my family. Who the fuck do you think you are? Who the fuck do you think you are? Ask Lucius. Who's Monique, Charles? Who's Monique? Who's Lucius? Why don't you explain who's Lucius? Who's Calvin? He's bald and fat. We know he's bald and fat. We know Sanjay's your hacker. I mean, who is it you think you're talking to? Who is it you think you're talking to? Any other victim have the information we have? What are we going to do with that? There's the disconnect. What does it mean that we have it? What are we doing with it? What's our plan? Yep, see? None of y'all, all of you, have a little cuckoo bird something going on there that you're not able to ascertain what it means that we have all that. All you're asking me, who's the leak? How'd she find out about that? How'd she know about that? Fuck that. No one else cares about that. You've not gotten an answer on that, have you? In all this time, not one answer. What answer have you gotten? You tell us. Here's the thing, though. What does it mean that we have that? Yeah, that's where you got to disconnect. Y'all are not all there. We know that Charles is mentally ill because he has Huntington's disease, and that's a legitimate diagnosis. And somebody asked that question, is he mentally impaired? Yeah, he's mentally impaired. You can't miss it. You talk to him for 5 minutes, you can tell he's mentally impaired. But, so there's you fell in the pit, you dug for me. Right? You went into court of law and lied and said I was crazy. You're not a doctor. You are Matt. Well, my doctor disagreed. She said, no, she's tired of being stalked. She's traumatized from being stalked. She's not crazy, not mentally ill at all. She's a victim of crime. She's having a normal reaction to an abnormal situation. And that was it right there. God kept his promise. Here's the thing. When he told me that in 2016, we didn't know you had Huntington's disease, but God did. God knew you had it. He didn't say that to me. He just said, watch this. They're going to, don't worry. I'm going to cause him to fall in the pit he dug for you. You don't need to worry. I know you're upset. He's ruining your reputation. Here's the thing. I made you to where you could, I called you to tell a story. Stories that need to be told. Stories I want people to hear. And he's trying to ruin your credibility, and I'm God, and I'm not okay with that. So I'm going to cause him to fall in the pit he dug for you. So here's Jeannie Russell after a year and a half. He's escalating the stalking. He can't get attention any other way, causing problems that you have to drop everything you're doing and deal with. And I'm like, yeah, he's put me in jail. I have to deal with that. Now I have to pay attention to something I don't even want anything to do with. And then this. So also, Mr. Perry, the guy said, we got a guy who's a wacky jacky that has a wife in Lubbock. And he's been in Oklahoma for 6-7 years telling people that he and Cynthia are in a relationship and that they're going to get married. She won't have anything to do with him. But he went into court and said there's a political vendetta. Well, it's not both. It's personal or it's political. So which story is he going to stick with? Which one's the truth? Because he's told two different stories and they conflict. And then he expects us all to believe him, and I don't believe him. Do you? I'm not stupid. You stupid? Yeah. That's stalking. He said, here's the thing. She's accusing Mr. Perry of stalking. So for 6 years, he's been up in Oklahoma telling people they're in a relationship, they're going to get married, and she won't even talk to him. She's got him in court trying to get protective orders. He won't let her in court to tell her side of the story and present her evidence and her witnesses. He buys his way out. While he's married to Jacqueline, and after he's gone into court and said it's a political vendetta that caused her to go to police and say, I need a protective order. So I got to file a report according to the law. It is the law in Oklahoma. You have to do it. You don't have a choice. And you knew that. You guys that work for him, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? We're not stupid. Why are you? Right? You're caught. You're caught first thing this morning. Doing what? Catching your crime? I caught doing what? I don't have time for anything else. I really, literally, I work at food delivery because Mr. Perry won't let me get a job doing anything else. That's what he does. That's what the witness said. And I have school. I'm in college. And I have to fight your crime off because you imposed it on me. And you're making people really angry at you. Really, really, really angry. People with a lot of power and people who matter. You don't. I matter. You don't matter. Not one bit. You're not quoting us. I'm quoting you. Ask Calvin, who's bald and fat. I found out I was trafficked before you did it, not after. No other victim can say that. I can say that. I have help. Fabian puzzle, David, where it depicts Perry as just exactly the butt-in, selfish little butt-in that he is. No, you're not wanted, you're not loved, you're told on. For a decade. What day are they going to finally arrest you? Yesterday's not soon enough for me. I'm sick of living like this. I really am. Everybody's asking to hurry up.
Sir.
So it's like living, I mean, this is good. That's the other thing, he'll type in my phone. I have your pictures. Yeah, well, I said you're a stalker. Guess how many I have of you? Zilch. I don't give a fuck about you.
This makes make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you
Is that the
feel?
one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
Scratches?
pictures? Well,
I got
I
scratches.
can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're
I don't
gonna
give
get
a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a threat?
fucking army. I don't give a fuck.
This make you feel? You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How?
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want pray for this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her. You need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want pray for this. Please leave me alone.
Okay, when I said it's like rape, it is. For a woman, unwanted male attention, in a way that invades your privacy, where you have the legal and reasonable expectation of privacy. Mr. Perry shouldn't even know who my car guy is. He called my car guy and said, reach out to her. We need to put pressure on her to leave Oklahoma so she can be trafficked. David is so threatened by my finding out about his crime that he hid all his life, and him and Mr. Perry, that he is really desperate to make me leave Oklahoma. And I didn't come here to pick a fight with you. You're picking one with me every time you cause a loss. Every time you call my car guy and invade my privacy and break privacy laws. You shouldn't know a damn thing about my car, Mr. Perry. I got pictures of you in Oklahoma doing normal things normal people do. Working. I don't have time to do another damn thing. Because you made sure I don't have it. You suck up a lot of time, weirdo. So, we got, you're the one with the mental illness. Diagnosed, certified nutty. Because God allowed you to fall in the pit you dug for me. Okay? That's kind of how he does. Sometimes it looks like he's not going to keep his promise, but then, boom, there it is. There's that one. Yep. He's going to swallow you up in the sea behind me. They're going to chase you. And I'm going to make sure those bitches get swallowed up in the sea behind you. Right? What day is that going to happen? Alright, it's rape. You're a rapist. That's it. A rapist and a cop killer.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
That guy's been raping you since
Leave me.
We needed to get her back down to Dallas. We needed to starve her so she would call her ex-husband. We're going to use the ex-husband to kidnap her and deliver her. Conspiracy to commit trafficking. What about my car guy? What about my car guy? He's talking to you, and we know that. So the second he gets in touch with me, because you told him to, put pressure on her, on something to do with her car. I have payment that's due. So he did exactly what you said, because you intentionally made sure I don't have the money to pay the bill. It's called interference with commerce and contracts with intent to coerce. You're going to jail for that. You will be going to jail for that. I found out I was trafficked before you did it. I found out you wanted to use my ex-husband. We told her family that we're going to take all her money. We're going to interfere with commerce and contracts, intentionally and maliciously, to force her to do and say things she does not want to. You told everybody who would listen. We told her family they are not only not to help her, they're not to talk to her at all. Recorded. The court's already heard that, sir. The court's already heard it. They hear these. That's what these are for. So, we heard the guy yesterday. It's very difficult to believe a word Mr. Perry says because he's got a wife in Lubbock that he's abandoned and betrayed to go into Oklahoma where he does not live. Everybody wants to know who's footing the bill for your crime. Oklahoma taxpayers or Texas taxpayers or both. Account for your time and account for the money. You don't have a choice. Okay? It doesn't matter who else gives you a pass. Our guys are not giving you a pass. I've got names. I quote you, not the other way around. Yep. Remember who it is you're talking to when you threaten me, sir. Okay, so this is also another place where everything is documented, every threat. I'm going to take her car right here. I'm going to take your car and force you to do something and say something you don't want to. Because it's a RICO Act violation, weirdo. You need a better attorney. Is he as wacky as you, or is he part of the crime? Is he co-conspirator? Look up the legal definition of conspirator to commit XYZ crime. Is my car guy in that, my ex-husband? I don't want to go anywhere with you. Fuck off. I don't like you. No one does. We are quoting you because nobody likes you. We know about your guy Calvin is bald and fat. Sanjay's your hacker. Because nobody likes you. People are wildly uncomfortable and deeply disturbed and horrified at what you've done to me, sir. We don't have problems getting information, you do. Somebody explained to you last night, you're going to have to, listen, everything that you do is going to be seen as retaliation for her complaints about the first thing you did to her and Officer Michael Neely. So the only way that you can do something, if you want to put her in jail and smear her reputation and try to discredit her, you're going to have to find a way that you're not getting information illegally. Because all you do is you're stalking, that's a crime. So you're obtaining information during the commission of a crime. Stalking, hacking, and peeping. You're intentionally causing a problem. Right? We're going to intentionally make it where she can't pay any of her bills. And then have her, have some sort of a problem there. That's called entrapment if you try to make it into a crime. I don't know how you do that, but you're trying to. We know that. It's called entrapment. You caused it on purpose. If it's related to some sort of crime you're trying to trick me into, or that's what he said. You can't trick her into anything. You can't cause a problem so that she can't okay, here it's coming up on tax season. Am I going to be able to pay my taxes? If you're stealing my money, that's going to be difficult because you're intentionally making that problem to coerce a lie or to coerce me into your sex trafficking weird. But this is all the stuff he did to my car. It was wrecked 4 times right at the wheel. That one I wasn't even in the I wasn't even in the car. I was inside the building doing business. You had somebody, it was a hit and run. Yep. See this right here? You're the butt end. You're the me. Fabian gives me hope. Those 2 words intersect in my puzzle that I got in jail. Boo depicts the fear you cause and sadness. Doesn't get any more specific. I got that in jail. Psychically. According to David. There's so many of these fucking, they hit me and hit me and hit me and hit me and hit me. They're trying to either cause engine trouble or financial problems so the car gets repossessed, or they're trying to or they wreck it. You name it, they've tried to do it. To take my car since 2019. That's in 2019. It's not legal, but I'm going to have a car towed and sold before she figures that out. Yep, that was recorded. No other victim can say that. Look at this. Mr. Perry, what does it mean that I have that information? That's where you got to disconnect. Complete disconnect. This was the whole sex trafficking plan. No other victim has that, do they? I have it. What does it mean that I have it? What court has already heard this? All the recordings, they gotta go in support of this right here. This is the witness statement. He's sexually this is what he does. He's making a profit off of women's bodies without their permission, without their consent. We gotta get her to Texas. It was a march. We gotta get her back into Texas so we can do more to her. And the court's already heard that recording. Yeah, you're lucky you're not in jail already. This got us Calvin's name. We can't steal her money and make it where she can't pay her rent and gets kicked out for non-payment because of the COVID moratorium. Let's try smoking. That was sent on the 9th of February. She did it on the 15th. She tried. So, I mean, you're caught. You're caught. Delusional. You got the official whack job diagnosis. We're getting tired of being asked to pull her over. Twice now we've heard 2 different police officers tell you, I was busy doing something else, fighting real crime. I don't have time to harass this girl for you. Last night was one. This, I think, was Lucky Miller. Was it, or was it Mike? Look at this one. We're quoting you, sir. So you guys had a conversation, and the guy said, everything you do is going to be seen as retaliation for the first one you fucked up, and for Mike Neely's case, for her testimony for Mike. So I did not just interject myself to insulate myself against your crime, Mr. Powell, your lie, your next lie. What I did is, it didn't even occur to me to do that. What I'm seeing is, here's a man who's been accused of beating someone to death, but has not a mark on him, and was drugged, and found unconscious, and in respiratory distress, and dying. And by the way, he's a police officer. And he's the police officer who just took a report on vandalism. I didn't name a suspect. I said, I don't know who did this, but it's likely my stalker. That's possible. You need to consider it. That's what you're supposed to do. It could be. You can confirm it or rule it out in your investigation. When 6 days later, Chief Miller's murdered, and Mike is accused, with not a mark on him, of beating someone to death, no head injury. Now it looks like you did the vandalism. Now it looks even, and going at me, everybody says the same thing. We know that they murdered Chief Miller and framed Mike. She wouldn't be sleeping in her car. He's trying to take that too. People are not stupid. I'm sorry that you think they are. You are. So we've got the whole detailed plan here. Nobody else has. And you act like you don't know what it means that we have that, David. They're starting to call you dumb David, because you ought to know what it means that we have that. And you don't. You don't have a clue. You got to disconnect. All we need for you is the diagnosis. You're acting just like delusional Perry here. He's got a diagnosis. God allowed him to fall in the pit he dug for me. That's how God is. Be not deceived. God isn't mocked. You'll reap what you sow. You already are, to some extent. You got to be careful how you treat people, because you reap what you sow. So we got a bunch of stuff yesterday. The conversation where you're trying to find something, and he goes, everything's going to look like retaliation. You did this, and this, and I can't get you around all that. The only thing that you can do is hope she does something on her own, and you just happen to see it. Because you guys have caused so many problems for her that you're trying to trick her into something. You're the causation. You take her money and she can't pay her taxes or something. You're the causation. And you did it to make sure I can't pay the bill on purpose. That's why you did it. It's malicious intent and malicious aforethought. That's why we do these also. We're going to document everything so that for the court record, we can prove intent. Criminal intent, malicious aforethought, premeditation, all that. So that we meet the elements of the crime. That's why I asked God that day for strength. This is hard to go through. I'm the victim of a crime 24/7. Serious, sicko, nasty, twisted, disgusting crime. People, a normal person couldn't think up if they tried. Couldn't do it. And you just do it like it's nothing, like it's breathing. So it's making everybody very upset. My guy said in July, here's the thing, you're being stopped every time we quote you, every time we catch you. Before you do it, not after. So you need to wake up. You're in a lot of trouble. And you're calling around looking for us, and we don't call people like you back. Stupid. Not doing it. I don't have time. I gotta protect her. So here's what you're to do. Comply with the law. Show some respect for the law and for her. Get the hell out of her life. She's not to have her privacy invaded anymore. You're not to contact her again. And she's not to be broke anymore. And you didn't listen. You made things worse. So my guy gets Lucius's name. Who's Lucius to you? Explain that. Who is he? Who's Geppetto? We got Geppetto's name at that time. We got Calvin's on the first one I just showed, the smoking. And we found out he's bald and fat. And he works for you. He's a co-conspirator. Now we got Lucius's name. We got Sanjay, your hacker's name. We got, we also got Blankenship and Desiree. The first one. We got Lucius's name. Who are those people? These are not people I've met that I know of. We got Lucius's name. We got Geppetto's name. The witch. I'm going to cast spells on her and then she'll change her mind. We'll do a seance. It's not working. He's studying, trying to figure out, is it because she takes the, we can't have her taking the Eucharist. Then I'll lose all my spooky powers, my wiki. Yeah, okay. Anyways, just weird shit. Weird shit normal people can't think up if they had to. Couldn't do it. And, there's a disconnect for Charles and Dave that they don't understand what it means that I have that kind of information. I found out before. Very detailed, very specific information. Mr. Perry, you are not to contact me. Everybody hates your guts for putting me through this. Everybody would like you very much to shut up about liking women. You don't like women. If you liked women, you would do what women like. You don't like women, and we all know that. If you want clean teeth, you go buy a toothbrush and toothpaste and you brush your teeth. If you don't like getting burned, you don't touch the stove. You fucking don't touch it. And you have a certified nutty diagnosis from a doctor, Huntington's disease, that I wasn't supposed to find out about, but here's the thing, I did. Because you have made people hate you for putting me through this. Everybody fucking hates your guts. All of you. For terrorizing and horrifying us. All of us. People don't like to watch it when one person makes another suffer. Watch Derek Chauvin. The news coverage of that. Those people, when they testified at what they had to watch, they were weeping. They were crying. They had to go to therapy. It is psychological torture, our shrink says, when you cause one person to make them watch someone else hurt. So I found out you have Huntington's disease because you won't fuck the hell off. He said, leave her alone. I'm a cop and I'm giving you an order. Leave her alone. She's not to be broke again. Don't contact her anymore. Comply with the law. Comply with the law. You fuck off. I've asked you to fuck off. He's asked you to fuck off. You're calling around looking for him. You're pissing off New York. You're pissing him off. Now you're harassing New York. And you're making me a fucking legend. This is a serious matter. Because when you have, what was the other ones I was going to do? You've pissed off New York. Wow. So, the text that I was referring to, that Mr. Powell wanted, if we say just in front of a lie, does that make it not a lie? Are these here? When I'm texted, these are from 2011. I'm saying, would you please, I'm pissed that you're spreading rumors of an affair. There's not an affair. And the guy said, have you ever been on a date with her? No. Have you had sex with her? No. But for 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years, you're in Oklahoma telling everybody you're in a relationship and you're going to get married. While you're married to Jacqueline in Lubbock. And you've gone into court and said it's about a political vendetta. Oh my God. So forgive us that we think you're a little wacky. And you're not credible. We don't believe a word you say. Because you're not looking credible. This is my first attempt at a protective order. It was denied because I forgot the police report. What does that say? You must file a police report. Here's the police report. Mr. Powell didn't bother to get examined by police in Tulsa. I filed it on the 21st. They had me charged on the 29th. And I don't get a call back even asking for evidence until the 15th of February. Yeah, how did he get it? How did he find out even? Okay, this is the... she's got to be seen by a shrink because we're going to lie and say she's crazy. We're going to completely ignore all the objective data and try to make subjective data fit our lie. That's what we're planning. That's Mr. Powell's plan. What do we have here? She found that I'm not crazy. I'm sick of being stalked. But you have the official diagnosis of Huntington's disease that makes you crazy. You fell in the pit you dug for me. Just like God said. What day is it going to be you're swallowed up in the sea behind me, chasing something doesn't belong to you? You live with your choices. If you do it to the least of these, you've done it to me. How many lives have you blown up, Mr. Perry? How many fucking lives have you blown up? And I'm the one that, you know, it's different when you do it to me. But why is that? That's where the disconnect is, dumb Dave. What's it mean that I have that? What's it mean that I have that? This was last night. They were fucking with my Dasher app so I couldn't make any money. I have a bill due today. 2 of them. And they know that. They know that because they hacked me. Otherwise, I don't call Charles and go, I got a bill due. He knows, he finds out from hacking. So, this person, I don't know what the hell, but I'm like, is it cute now? You want me to do that? I'll do that. Because I'm fighting I'm slaying dragons. That's what I'm doing. That night that I was walking through Sepulpa asking God for strength. Here's the thing, God, I signed up to slay dragons. I want to tell your victims you're safe now. Here am I, send me. But I'm smothered. I mean, they're really going at me. I need some strength. They're lying. They're trying to take away my credibility. They're saying I'm crazy, and I'm not crazy. You know that. Don't worry. I'm going to cause them to fall in the pit they dug for you. And he did. And back then, we didn't know you had Huntington's disease, but God knew. God knew you had it. Didn't he? You're pissing him off, I tell you that. He does not like suffering. He does not like it at all. So, I mean, these are my correspondence. There's nothing political in it. It's about stalking. 2011. 5 years before I could have anticipated you to go into court and lie. You know, Tulsa police needed to look at that, but you obstructed justice. And they didn't put you in jail like they should have, and now we have a dead cop. You're a cop killer. These are the texts Tulsa police didn't look at, Matt didn't look at. They all ignored these. Let's try to find a shrink that'll say she's crazy. Let's ignore objective data and let's get subjective data to try to match our lie. Right here. Did you give me drugs? Let your life fade away? Maybe it's worth the risk of the suspicion we saw with Gary Condit and Chandra Levy if he kills you. They're still talking about trying to hire a hitman. They just got recorded talking about that too. It was an argument. The guy goes, all right. Finally, he said, go ahead and hire a hitman. But you better make sure it's not linked to us. Well, now it is because we heard you talking about it. David, I'm such a threat to your crime. You want me to leave the state of Oklahoma, and everybody gets that. We'll get you a tissue. I came here to get away from Whack Job Perry. Charles, you don't like women. Nobody believes that. Everybody, listen, you're stupid. Everyone's not. The whole rest of us, the world is not stupid. You got a diagnosed whack job problem. You don't even make sense. You absolutely do not even make sense, sir. It's embarrassing for everybody else. And it's pissing everybody else off. I didn't sign up for that. Jacqueline did. I don't want a thing to do with it. I don't want a thing to do with you. Your coercion is a criminal act. Another one. You got stacks of them coming at you. What day are they going to arrest you? What he said is, leave her alone. Show some respect for the law and for her. If you like women, you do what women like. And you don't. You refuse to. So nobody believes that you like women. And you need to shut up about it. Put up or shut up. You like women, or you act, then you start acting like you do. This is the same thing. We got to get her back to Texas where we can do more to her. We got to coerce. You call it Hansel and Gretel. And you did it to Mike. How'd you know Mike had to be begged to go to Pensacola? Come on, Mike, it'll be fun. Where you could blow his life up. Yep. There's his arrest report. Point out for me, any cop anywhere, the injuries on Mike Neely that looked like he was in a fight listed in this arrest report. Keep it in mind, in the right hand, is an IV needle. Chief Miller's cause of death was internal decapitation. The medical examiner said, I read the whole docket, that he was hit back and forth, back and forth, back and forth so hard his head came off his body. The skull became detached from the spine. Blunt force trauma to the head and strangulation. Keep in mind, those are the injuries. Point out for me in this police report where the injuries are on Michael that looks like he did it. And point them out here. Where are they? He's telling me a Escambia guy. You're telling me Lucky's dead and I beat him. Sorry, but I don't believe you. I don't have anything on me. There's no injuries. So what you were told last night is, I can't get you around that. Everything you do, no matter what it is, looks like you're retaliating against her for testifying for him. He's a cop. We don't leave cop family behind, Perry. We don't do it. It's not an option to do that. I don't know who all you bought in Oklahoma. I don't care. For us, the ones that are getting the intel nobody else has, Calvin, Lucius, Geppetto, Blankenship, all y'all. We're the ones getting the intel nobody else has. For us, you don't leave cop family behind. You don't do it. And you're retaliating against me. I wouldn't be sleeping in my car. You wouldn't have my car guy go, how come your payment's late? Guess what? My payment was never late to him before. Never. You're interfering with a contract. You're going to go to jail for that. I promise you, I will make them throw the book at you on that one. Interfering with contracts and commerce with intent to coerce. Not just contracts, commerce. The buying and selling of anything. Now, there's your shovel. Dig away. You always do. You're not the brightest bulb. It's so easy, it's not fair. And this was me telling the Florida State's attorney, Officer, this is in March, Officer Neely didn't do it. You have the wrong guy. The real offender is still out offending. You're going to have to explain that at some point. He's going to step in it one of these days. And everybody's going to want to know why you could have done something and you didn't. You failed. Lots of prosecutorial misconduct here. There's guys going, I could be disbarred for this. Yeah, and you should be. And you should be. Just so you know, we hear that too a lot of times. He was drugged. I'm telling everybody, okay? Right? Oh shit, I was right. What does it mean that we have all that? Beforehand, not after. This is the deposition of first responders. He was found unconscious, in respiratory distress, unresponsive, dying. Who put the drugs in his drink? Opioids. They treated him with Narcan. They didn't do this until May. I said it in March. I said it before anybody else said it. Everything you do, the guy said, is going to be retaliation. Because you fucked up her first report and you fucked up Mike's deal. He killed a cop. And she caught it. Yep. He doesn't like women, or he would do what women like. He's full of shit. And nobody believes a word you say. Not anymore. You did fall in the pit you dug for me. God kept that promise to me that he made in Zapalpa in 2016. I'm overwhelmed, God. I have a job to do here. I said, here am I, send me. Now what? Look what they're doing. I don't know what, I can't breathe here. They're smothering me. Don't worry. I'm going to cause them to fall in the pit they dug for you. And he did. And then we didn't know you had Huntington's disease. We do now. But God knew. He kept his promise. It took a while. Look how long ago that was, 7 years ago. Yeah, but he did it. He always does, Charles. He also, one of you guys was talking to somebody, and he's like, here's the thing, if God promised these people to give them double for their trouble, I don't really want to. I think we need to be careful how much we take. I don't want to be the cause that one of our victims gets rich because God bless them double for their trouble. That I took so much that they become very, very wealthy. Because I took so much. I think we need to watch out how much we take from these people, from these victims. I was laughing. I was like, yeah, wow, that's funny as hell. All right, so everybody take note here. Mr. Perry is indeed trying to carry this out. He gets more desperate by the day. Everybody's sick and tired of it. Everybody knows you're not fooling anybody. Everybody's sick and tired of you. I didn't invite you to Oklahoma, whack job. I came here to get away from you. I left to get away from you. People are. It's not. I mean, the fact that you got an official wacky diagnosis, you can't miss it, sir. You reek of it. You're slithering and sliming that all over us in Oklahoma. We don't want a thing to do with you. I came to Oklahoma to get away from you. You're not owed anything. You're not owed a fucking thing, welfare. You're not entitled. So, you're told you need to comply with the law like everybody else can do. You need to keep up with everybody else. If you're having a problem with that, call your nurse. Call your fucking nurse. I'm not a special ed teacher. I don't know how to deal with it. I don't. I didn't sign up for that. Your wife did. Where's she? Where is she? Everybody's sick of y'all and the suffering that you're causing and the cruelty. And that right there is exactly how we get this, Sanjay, the hacker, Calvin, bald fat Calvin, Lucius. Who's Monique Charles? Explain that. Explain that one. That one makes y'all shit yourselves. The same as Fabian. Fabian still makes you shit yourself. We think that is funny as hell. He wouldn't help you. We really needed to get her back down to Dallas so we could do more to her. You tried to use Fabian, he wouldn't do it. I told you he wouldn't do it. He didn't. I said, he's not going to help you. You're making phone calls trying to figure out who's helping me, and nobody will tell you a fucking thing. In fact, you're pissing other cops off. You're pissing other cops off. Make those phone calls. We sit back and watch. They're going to piss them off. They're going to harass the people and then piss them off. And nobody's going to tell them shit. What did I say about that? No one is going to help you until you cease and desist all forms of all contact with me. Until you cease and desist all invasions of my privacy. Until I have my money back. No one is going to help you. No one. Until Michael's home with his family. No one will help you. No one has. All these years, no one's helped you. No one will tell you a thing. No one will help you until you comply with the law. And get the fuck off me, you sick fuck rapist. Now, there's your shovel. Dig away.